Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. This is Kel.
And this is Misfit.
And we are here with our kind of review of the players that we were watching last week. So we had our matches and our players. We had some players that we were watching for fantasy and for just players that we were interested in watching in general.
Just to see what they were going to do and how they, if they were going to go off or, if they were actually going to play.
Whether it's new players or guys that join new teams, that kind of thing. So let's jump into it. So last week we had our list of our players that we were watching. So this is just the players, not specifically to do with fantasy. Obviously, these guys had some pretty good fantasy numbers too.
Yeah. A couple of them were kind of shaky. You were just kind of like, it was in that we were watching to see, with the hype and the other things that people had on these teams, who's going to play, especially with the fantasy stuff. I mean, so a couple of things on our team. Like, we thought Zumba was going to play, and so did everybody else, pretty much. But Michelle did so well that they just kept him in, which...
I can't blame him, because Michelle played really, really well.
Yeah. Let's move into the players that we were watching on our in our sites.
So, starting off, our first player was Fissure.
Yeah. Fissure looked really good.
Yeah. There's something about him playing his former teams where he wants to mash them as hard as humanly possible.
Yeah, he's kind of like some kind of Viking revenge thing going on. He just wants to murder them into the ground. And he pretty much owned Roar for most of that match.
Yeah.
And it's not
really the Gladiators in general. They just dominated them for the most part. Unfortunately, they couldn't do any of that against Dallas.
Yeah, because OGE and him was a pretty good matchup. It was pretty interesting.
It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, there were times when it seemed like Fissure had the upper hand in some of those Rhine battles, but I think OGE got the best of him. But that also falls into I think he was putting, and he'll tell you different, I'm sure, that he was putting all of his effort into beating the crap out of the Gladiators.
Yeah, at 100%. And it felt like that was kind of the mentality of the whole team too.
Yeah.
Because
they were flat.
Solely focused on the Gladiators, and then when they just came out, I don't know if they underestimated the fuel or what happened. And I know there was definitely some adjustments from the fuel as well, but Fissure, he played pretty great in both games, but he was definitely lesser in the game against Dallas.
For sure.
He popped off just an absolute monster against the Gladiators.
And when he is on his game, you notice all the rest of the parts look better. Rougeahalen looks better. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing that happened with the Gladiators. It's going to be an adjustment period for Soul a little bit too, and I think that's why Michelle might be in there.
Yeah,
a lot because I think he's aggressive like Fissure.
Right, so they kind of pair together a little better. Yeah. And then it opens it up for everybody else.
And because Fleta's got a really good Zarya. So, the three of them, if they're running 3-3, we're not mentioning barnyard animals anymore, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
If they're running 3-3, that's a pretty formidable threesome. Oh. If they're prepared on their game. They were not ready for Dallas. I know that.
No.
They were ready for the Gladiators, though.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next one. We're going to talk about Gamsu. We wanted to see if he was going to play, and if he did play, what kind of effect he had. And it seemed like the maps that he was in there, which weren't very many.
Yeah, he only played 2 maps total the whole week,
and most of them were against. Most of the stuff he played was against Vancouver.
Yeah,
I think he came in one map against the Spark.
Yeah,
I'm not too certain.
Actually, no, I don't think he did. Because I watched that whole game. He did not play at all. That being said, Shanghai held their own for the most part in that first game without him. But they looked considerably better when he was in there, and I think that just shows that no matter how cohesive they are or whatever, he just needs to be in there, especially if they're running 3-3. No, fuck it. I'm calling it goats. It's what it is. It's goats.
And I don't want to get into the minutia of the fucking, but it's got Anna and it doesn't have Moira. Who the fuck cares? It's goats.
It's 3 tanks.
Or dotes or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
Moats.
It's 3 tanks, 3 healers. Most of the time, it's the same characters. In the league, it's Rhine, Zarya,
Diva.
And Diva. and then Lucio, Zenyatta, and Brigia.
And that's pretty much GOATs now. Moira doesn't have the value in this league.
Yeah, Moira doesn't have the value in the league. And then...
It's the ult. It's the ult thing in this league.
Yes.
I mean, it is in general with GOATs.
Because her ult is good, but it is not nearly as impactful as the defensive ult that you're going to get from Zenyatta, and then also the damage that you're going to get from him as well.
Yeah, and with him, I mean, you can get a lot of damage with Moira, but it's for a big fight, you have Sound Barrier, Transcendence, and Rally.
Yeah.
Instead of Coalescence is okay, you can combo that with a Grav.
Right.
For protection or for damage on it. But it's just, it doesn't have any value.
Yeah, you're better off handling than Zenyatta because then you're going to get picks.
Yeah.
You get one or two
Especially
picks.
These guys.
Then that's going to be so much bigger than anything else. But anyway, Gamsu, I think he did look good. He's going to be huge for them.
His wrecking ball is stupid.
Yeah, his wrecking ball is really fun. And honestly, I love the amount of wrecking ball that we saw in general. But with Gamsu specifically, I think it's very apparent that Shanghai needs to play him because they desperately need a main tank that can be in there and play that Reinhardt or Winston role in... Even
if they're not in sync with each other quite yet, you still need... You need somebody
to be comfortable in that position.
And then not have one of your DPS guys... Which, I mean, he didn't do terrible.
No, Youngjin honestly held his own for the most part, but
he's not...
you could tell that it is not his main focus as a character to play.
Right, and the problem was, too, is the teams they played weren't exactly lacking at all on main tank.
Right,
I mean, Hanzao's got 2.
Right, when you're going against Guxue and... Nosemite, what are you gonna do?
And then the next game you gotta play Bumper.
Yeah, it's...
I mean, Bumper has his moments where he kind of does the fraggy, but not very often. He's almost like a mix of the hyper aggression of fraggy, but he's able to reel it back enough that he makes it work. Yeah, he's like a mix of fraggy and Fate.
Yeah,
and. That kind of...
It just kind of, in some ways he lets it come to him, and then in other ways he's like, I'm taking it to you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Sometimes not at the best times, but honestly, even when it didn't work out the best...
That team is so good, though.
They still turned it around because they used him going hard like that to really take advantage. They took advantage of it and just got picks, and once you get 2 or 3 picks, it's like, oh... That fight's over. Yeah. It's okay, we lost our main tank, but they lost their main tank. They're one of their supports and another supporter, another tank.
Yeah, exactly. And, honestly, the one time that Shanghai looked exceptional was when Gamsu was playing Wrecking Ball.
Yeah.
And he was baiting them.
Oh, man.
With playing and baiting them, and they held them 100-0 on that. That always happens. Not always. That one part of that map on Busan, that's the one that you get steamrolled.
Yeah, once you take that point, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, and
because it's a lot easier to defend it.
Yeah.
Than it is to take it. Once it's being defended, it is so difficult to take that point.
Especially if you have someone that's if you got someone playing Wrecking Ball, and then you got a Brigitte, and all that just stuns and knockbacks and all that crap.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's the one thing I noticed about that, the way these guys play. I mean, there was a couple that went back and forth, but a lot of times, I mean, they might pick it back up 85 or 90, where you really have no shot to hold it.
Right, because then you got to hold it for
one fight and you're done.
Yeah, you lose it and you're over. But let's move on to kind of a double player, and that's Godsbeat and Guxue. We kind of mentioned Guxue a little bit. Man, when he's in there,
they look great.
They look phenomenal. But then at the same point, they look really good when Nosemite's in there too.
Yeah, that's a bad problem to have.
No,
really,
it's really
to
not.
Have 2 main tanks that are. I mean, even if you happen to need a player,
right?
I mean, you could trade Guxue to somebody.
That's what I'm thinking. Is I'm wondering if they're kind of showing off one or both of the guys and seeing what they could get offered for one of them.
What if you put Guxue on San Francisco?
Oh, God.
Like, seriously, I'm just... Super's decent. So's Smurf.
Yeah.
But if you put Gouchway on there...
It's over.
Yeah.
That team instantly looks like the favorite, honestly.
Yeah. Or any team that's having main tank ills.
Issues, yeah.
Which...
Here's him. Their problems run much deeper than main tank. But...
Death Yada,
right? Oh my God.
There's Spawn Room Zenyatta.
But between Gouchway and Godsby, they just looked...
Florida will probably trade for
really
fucking
good.
Ruckus.
Actually, that is a team that Gouchway would fit really, really well because
I'd love to have Gouchway on.
You guys really need a new main tank.
Ivory Swan.
Yeah. Ivory Swan. God damn it.
I was going to say he's like Fraggy, but Fraggy would get some kills.
Right.
He would kill 2-3 guys, and then, the rest of the team would get there.
Right.
Or at least knock him down a little bit. He just didn't dive in and get absolutely murdered.
Slaughtered instantly.
I guess that guy doesn't understand the concept of goats. When you dive into 3 tanks and someone with a stun,
yeah,
you're dead. Even on Reinhardt.
Yeah,
I got
your 500 health is not going to do shit when you got 6 people focusing you.
And the Harmony Orb's really not going to help you.
No, no. But yeah,
anyway,
going back to Godsby and Gouchway, like
Godsby, man,
Godsby, wow.
I was impressed. I'm sorry.
That team in general was really impressive, but their tank play altogether was incredible.
And then you throw in Godsby.
Yeah.
They're going to be tough to beat.
That's a damn good team.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else to say other than I can't wait to watch more of them because,
I mean, they took it to Fate.
Yeah.
Fate doesn't look good this year, though.
No, Fate had a rough game.
I don't know if it's...
But they only played one game, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, the competition comes up.
Oh, yeah. The competition has, and that's the biggest takeaway that I got from this week is overall competition has dramatically increased. And the infusion of incredibly talented players is just...
unbelievable.
Yeah,
and,
it's unreal.
We underestimated a couple teams like Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And I underestimated the Spark. More than you. You were kind of like, yeah, I think these guys are going to be really good. I was like, I don't know.
I was hesitant to put them as high as some other people were, but now I'm fully
we kind of have them where everybody has them.
Exactly.
Except for Monte Cristo's got them on another level of the rest of the universe.
But there's so much time to play that there's very much a possibility they can make it up there.
I was kind of not laughing, but laughing, watching them do the London match. I'm going on a sidetrack here. The Monte Cristo was just kind of, he seemed like he did not like casting London getting their fucking teeth kicked in.
Right.
He just it was like he wanted to go in the back room and tell them what they were doing wrong.
Right. I don't know why London is doing this. What are you guys doing?
And he just kept saying, and Birdring is just not cutting it on the Zarya.
Right. Oh God! How many things did he say through gritted teeth over that whole match?
But conversely, though, he had Paris pretty high.
Yeah, he did.
He had London at about 7. I think.
I think he knew their problem, especially with goats.
Yeah,
I think
I knew they were going to have a problem. I thought they could work through it though.
Yeah, I figured they would too
because of the skill level, but sometimes that doesn't matter. Okay.
Apparently not. So our last player of the week.
Let's go, dude.
Oh, he lived up to the hype and then some.
Popped off, dude.
My God, guys. We have a legit superstar.
Plus,
and it's just so fun.
And he's fun. And he makes it fun.
And when you're making Torb work.
Yeah. Against 2 teams, not just one.
Right. Not just I'm going to do it as my gimmick. It's the first thing, just gonna throw it out there, do it. No, he went back to that same strat, and it worked. It worked for the most part. They switched 3 different times, and one of their last couple of switches ended up kind of screwing them over in that match. But man, seeing him get 2 or 3 kills after they like wiped out his turret when they were playing Philly was hilarious. Just ridiculous. This guy is so fun to watch. And his team in general is really fun, but obviously
they all have this. They're almost like if you took the attitude of the GOATS contenders team.
Yeah,
they kind of feel like they have that swag.
They do. You know what they remind me of is the '90s Pistons. It's a little bit,
bad boys.
Of that, the bad boys. Yeah.
All right. Now you got your gimmick for your shirts. Let's go.
Exactly.
We want some of that. But he also proved that he could play Zarya, and his hero pool is pretty big because he played some decent Tracer.
There's no food in the lamp there, buddy.
What are you doing in the lamp? Okay, puppy's in the lamp. You're supposed to be the producer of the show. You can't be sticking your head in the lamp. Okay. So what else can he say about Dufran?
Right.
I mean... And he was fun, and we were trying to figure out, someone on Atlanta was fucking using the Mayhem as their spray, and we kind of think it was him. We couldn't really pick up on who it was.
In the Philly match, I just kept seeing a Mayhem spray randomly pop up, and it was definitely somebody from Atlanta, because it was, like I noticed it on Volskaya when they were setting up their defense, and it was like on the building that's right on the spawn point, like that... The really small building at like the front of the spawn point. It was just like right on that part. And it was like right next to another one. I'm just like, that's interesting. I wonder who did that.
Is that like the replacement for the You're Not Prepared? And you just put the Mayhem fucking logo in place of that?
Or is it that's the last team that they beat?
Yeah.
Is that going to be their thing of like, hey, we mashed this team, or is the Mayhem just a meme at this point?
Oh, I'm going with that.
Yeah, probably.
A little bit of all of it. But I remember last year people were getting on, who was it that was spraying they were spraying the Soul Dynasty logo and they were punching it? Was that Bedosin?
It might have been.
Someone was using Doomfist and was like smacking the crap out of the logo in the fucking spawn room. I like that shit.
I love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
But
we need more of that. And
absolutely.
we're getting it. Because a lot of it's Dufran's like sparking some, or Atlanta just in general.
Yeah, Atlanta in general. And I think like it's kind of becoming infectious. Like it's like a playful, it's the exact type of smack talk and stuff that we've been wanting. Like
it's like, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not like ill-hearted, but hey, you're still like,
you're still jabbing.
Yeah, you're still throwing some jabs. I like it. And I want that to continue for sure.
So do I. Okay, now let's dive into a little review of our fantasy pop-off.
Yeah.
So, we got a couple of them right. One of them we got half right.
Yeah.
I think Libero and Jonak is going to be a thing.
Yes.
And thank God it's our thing in our league.
Yeah, right? Oh, man. I still love the amount of shit we got for taking Libero when we did. I don't understand why. Yeah. I still don't understand why they give us so much crap about that. Some of the other ones, I totally get it.
Yeah.
But with him,
reached in a couple.
Yeah. But with him, like, his hero pool is ridiculous. Like, how do you not think that he's gonna not be playing every single map?
And he's gonna be playing...
And he's gonna be switching from Brigida to... playing, he's going to be getting healing, he's going to be getting damage, he's going to be getting eliminations, no matter what he's playing.
And he's in 85 to 90% of the time. That's the thing I look with them. Who's going to... I think Nene is going to be the guy that's in on the other side for them a lot.
I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of Pine, Sabiobi.
I mean, Sabiobi and Pine you can throw in on certain maps.
Right.
Ilios and those kind of things.
Right. But for the most part, it's going to be... I think it's going to be Nene and Libero, and Libero is going to be in there most of the time no matter what.
Yeah.
Just like he was last year, I feel like.
Because you could even say, well, if you're going to run double sniper, you can put Flower and Pine in there. But are you going to take Libero off the Hanzo?
Right.
His Hanzo's amazing.
His Hanzo's ridiculous, and then you just have the flexibility in case double sniper doesn't work, because if you put Flower and Pine in, then you're pretty much stuck with Widowmaker McCree or Widowmaker Ashe. Yeah, you're stuck with double DPS. Unless they're working on things that we don't know. Maybe, but I don't as of right now. Yeah, right now, yeah. That's where we're at.
But they were Jonak is you can't.
Yeah, and then Jonak obviously is going to play every single match no matter what because
just be Jonak.
He's ridiculous.
I mean, fantasy pop off. I mean, put him on the first week,
right?
But we don't really need to put him on.
We don't need to put. We don't need to be like, oh, you know who's going to have a good week this week? Todd Gurley.
Yeah. Odell Beckham's going to get right. He's going to get about a good 10 catches and a couple of touchdowns.
Right. Now, who else was
Blake Bortles is definitely going to throw for 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, or like a couple of years ago when Le'Veon Bell was just ridiculous. Like he's like basically at that level. Yeah. He is that level of player where like you don't even need to feature him because it's just like everyone already knows. Like,
we know what this guy's going to do.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, with your unlimited league, who's going to be your other support besides Jonak?
I'm going for Big Goose.
Right. Yeah.
We'll talk about that later in the week.
Yeah, no kidding.
Watch out for Lucio players. I mean, we all get in the mindset. You get in the fantasy mindset. You forget that you do a lot of damage on Lucio.
Right.
I think I said that last week, too.
A lot of damage and a lot of healing.
Yeah.
And then you still get some eliminations here. Like, it's definitely not like Mercy where you're just pumping in healing and that's about all you're going to get, point-wise.
Yeah.
But, so our other picks were Prophet and Birdring.
Kind of a miss.
Yeah. I would say overall a miss. Because Prophet's still Prophet.
Yeah, and he did still great on Brigida, and he's still like one of the best Brigidas in the league, but the value you get for that is not what you would normally get from him.
Right. If it was a DPS meta where he's going to exclusively play DPS, I think he's better suited to that.
Yeah, it's just the break he's getting 6 to 8. You're getting like 6,000 healing, 5 to 8,000 damage, and way less eliminations.
Right. And then, obviously, Birdring just had a really rough week. He just did not look good in any way, shape, or form.
No.
His Zarya is terrible.
Yeah, as far as this league goes, it's terrible.
Right.
When you got guys like, Carpe and even like Defran and Sinatra.
Yeah.
One of the guys on Vancouver, I mean, it was just not good.
Yeah, comparably.
I mean, they're definitely someone to watch, and I would probably avoid Birdring if you have him.
Yeah.
If you have him, definitely handcuff him or with guard.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't say release him because if the meta changes, he's going to be important.
Right. He'll have a spot.
I mean,
but as of right now, probably for the rest of this stage, my guess.
I would keep him on the bench.
I would bench him. Yeah.
Keep him on the bench, and he's one of those guys. Like there was a couple DPS players, I would keep them on the bench to wait to see what happens, and if like there's no patches or hero changes or anything like that that's going to be meta altering, then I would think looking for before stage 2 starts, start switching those guys out for other people.
So then we had our sleepers, and it was mostly Guangzhou. Who we thought was going to do really well. They only played one game, but we were thinking, they're playing Chengdu. They should be able to do some work. And
they did.
I mean, Eileen did.
Yeah, they did some
Papa
work.
was okay. But honestly, it was kind of a surprise. Chengdu played a lot better than anybody expected.
Yeah.
And then, but Eileen honestly played really well.
Yeah,
and I think he's a solid
guy to have. He didn't have the best of weeks.
Right.
And I think we underestimated pretty much everybody underestimated Chengdu, overestimated the charge a little bit.
Yeah.
And, I mean, sleeper-wise, you could just flip that game around and say anyone on Chengdu.
Right.
I mean, I looked at some of the numbers. They weren't fantastic for either team. It was kind of a weird match.
It really was. It was very disorganized. And I'm worried that it's going to be... it was just two bad teams playing each other.
Yeah, or two... Okay, so guys, that is going to do it for this one. We just wanted to hit you with our, wrap-up of our players that we watched and everything and see where we were at. And we will hit you day or so with some of our picks, our fantasy picks, and people we're watching for next week, all that good stuff. And next week we will have a stream on Monday. I just had some technology nightmares going on Monday. And then I had to take my shark animal, as I'm calling him right now, to the vet. I just got him. So it was like, this day's lost.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. You know, sometimes you got to deal with real life things. And real life things being my internet was being stupid, my modem was being stupid. You know,
that's the worst. Life happens, especially when it's trying to, because it's never when you're when you're asleep or not using the internet that those kinds of things happen.
Or you just you're randomly playing some game or doing something you don't give a fuck about. Everything's wow. I got 210 FPS going on this.
Right.
Jump into comp, down to 30 for some reason. Why?
Yeah. No kidding.
And dead. Anyway, so that was the story with the Monday thing. But thanks a lot, guys, for watching, listening. Thanks for all the comments you guys have been throwing down, like on our power rankings and all that stuff. Keep them coming. We love talking about different things. Toronto is good. Telling you that now. Not going to stop saying it. This is their big week. We'll talk about that later. Yep. I've become a Defiant fan.
Yeah. I think we both hopped on the train.
Yeah. Defiant in the rain.
Yeah.
The rain's not hard to like, though.
No, they're really not.
Anyway, you guys have a good rest of your day. We will talk to you later.
Catch you guys on the next one. Later.